and sometimes we cry.
This is where we get real about being human.
And sometimes
The slip-ups,
we
the
fail.
regrets, the bad calls, and the funny stories we'd rather forget. Sometimes the worst mistakes are the best.
Through it all,
But at the end of the day, we're all just losers.
I must give
I'm your host,
thanks
Josh, and this is The Great Mistakes.
for my great successes and my great mistakes.
Hey, well, this is Josh, Great Mistakes Podcast. This is my boy Alex, a.k.a. the Sticky Green Beret.
Awesome.
I don't know how you got that nickname. Anyways, I guess we like to party around here.
Yeah, we do like to party.
Yeah, but kick things off, man. Tell me about your shit.
Yeah.
Tell me how you got the security thing. That's what I want to know about. I know we talked about it before.
Yeah. So that was an interesting story. So like I said, I was just a grower. You know, I was out there trying to learn everything I could. You know, I got out there. I packed it. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Realized how much weed had helped me. Weed was going legal. People were growing it legitimately. So I was like, all right, let's try and do that. So I basically packed everything up in a car and I moved to Oregon with no job, no prospects. One of my friends had gone out there like a month earlier and he was like, yeah, bro, come out. You know, we can find jobs or whatever. And I got out there. I had no job, nothing. I went and met up with them at a bar. And they told me I could come sleep on the farm for the night. You know, there's no work. I didn't have a job, but they're like, come sleep on the farm. That next morning, dude, I woke up. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. I get there and it's dark, right? So we go.
So you're just going to like a camping trip almost.
Yeah, basically.
And you had nowhere to live. So you're just like, yeah, you can sleep on our weed farm.
Yeah, exactly. And so I wake up the next morning and, you know, I'd seen like bags of weed. I've seen pictures of plants and stuff. I wake up and there's like 700 weed plants that are bigger than I am. And I'm just like, it's one of those moments where you're like, oh, and the angels fucking come down and you're just like looking, you're like, this is insane, dude. I've never seen this much weed in my life.
Am I supposed to be here?
Yeah. And exactly, you're like, it's been so illegal forever. And you're like, this feels weird being here. But a couple dudes didn't show up for work. The boss was like, you want to work? And I was like, sure, man. So like that first day I was harvesting weed, bro. Like just out there, nugs this big, bigger than anything I've ever seen in my life, harvesting weed. And that's how it got started. And just kind of did what I could, get in where you fit in. And then someone wound up buying out that grow that I worked on and they fired everybody. And me and my friend Garrett.
And they fired you?
Yeah, fired everybody.
Okay.
Blanket fired everybody. And me and my friend Garrett went up to the new boss and we were like, can we work for you? And he was like, you want to work for us? We just fired everybody. We're like, yeah, we want a job. We don't have any loyalty to these dudes. We just want to work. And so we were the only two people that kept us on. And I started working for that company. So I'm working for them. They have this huge grow out in Cave Junction. And they have a security guy that's, you know, been a part of the company for a long time. And they have their little security force or whatever. And he's flying into the Medford airport and gets busted with
Medford, where's that at?
Oregon.
Okay, Medford, okay.
He gets busted with $400,000 cash on a private jet and gets arrested at the airport, like immediately.
It happens to the best of us.
You know, 400 grand, you know.
What?
And then he's out of jail in like 15 minutes. And so everyone's like, this dude snitched. He's saying like canary.
Yeah.
And so back at the farm, they find out and
He's got a haircut and a coffee.
Yeah.
I thought you went to jail.
Yeah, for real. And so they're like, don't let any of these motherfuckers back on the property. Like they are not allowed anywhere near here. And so then they're like, we need security.
Yeah.
And one of the other growers was like, he used to be a Green Beret. He could do it. And they asked me, do you want to do it? And I thought about it and I was like, yeah, I could do that. For sure. And I hired a couple dudes. I actually had another Green Beret from North Carolina fly
You start
out
calling guys
for me.
like, what's that Scarface where he's like, ha ha ha. And you start calling your homies like,
yeah, for sure. And I mean, because it was legitimately the Wild West out there. So I took the job and the local sheriff came out to like give me an orientation or whatever. And he comes out.
And onboarding?
Yeah, basically. Seriously. And so he comes out and tells me, hey, if you got to defend the property, someone comes on here, do what you got to do, you know, shoot them, whatever, you know. But if you kill the guy, don't expect us to come out and pick up a dead body. We don't have the manpower for that. You might have to sit on that dude for like 3 days.
You sure this guy was a cop?
Yeah, he was. But I mean.
That sounds dope, man.
Yeah, it was. And so.
No pun intended.
Yeah, exactly. But we had like side-by-sides, guns, and we just ride around kitted up, just menacing people. Like, someone would drive down the road in front of you, we'd be right alongside them, just like looking at them, like, what are you doing over here, bro? Follow them down the road or whatever. Literally, whatever we want. And,
yeah, dude, it's like tickets and fucking arresting people is like literally a financial institution.
Oh yeah,
like
for
everywhere.
sure.
Like, and the fucking thing is like I've got a viewpoint about police. I'm like 50-50 on every cop because I've got some good friends that are great
for
police,
sure,
and like I support them 1,000,000%. But there's some of them that I know for a fact they have that job just because they like to do a certain thing with people, and like they love the power they have from it and shit like that. And it's also like a money game. Like if you're a police guy, a policeman, you look at your job from like a bird's eye view of what you're doing where you live, you probably wouldn't do that. You know, most places, you know what I'm saying? But if you're solving like rape crimes and shit, like you've got some purpose in this world.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like doctors and nurses and shit, pharmaceuticals, like fucking all that. You're a medic. You're a medic, right?
I was a Delta.
Oh shit. Tell me about that. Tell me about your medical experience.
So I think I was one of the few people that actually wanted to be a Delta, which was cool.
I did too, and I was way too dumb to do it, but I did it anyways.
I don't even know why I wanted to be a Delta. People ask me that all the time. They're like, "What? You wanted to be a Delta? Why?" And I was like, I genuinely don't know why.
I was told it was the hardest thing you could do.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna try the hard thing.
Yeah.
You know. So,
Where'd you go on your rotation? For trauma.
I went to Flint, Michigan.
Oh damn.
Yeah. But it was like the dead of winter, so like people weren't killing each other because it's so cold outside at the time.
They're just freezing to death.
But I mean, there was a few. I mean, honestly, the only GSW I really treated up there was like a fucking 3-year-old kid.
Damn.
GSW's gunshot wound for you people out there, but and that was pretty sad. But the sad part was like my kid was like the same age as him at that time, and like he comes in and he had shot himself on accident.
Oh damn.
Like with a 38, like his cousin or something had laying around, and it was like a simple through and through. He wasn't even bleeding anymore, and he was like the quietest, calm about it. He wasn't fucking crying, and he's laying on a gurney in the ER, and I'm just like petting his head, and I'm like, the sad part is this kid has had so much trauma in his life, and he's 3 fucking years old, that a gunshot wound and being in a hospital is not even bothering him. And I'm like, fuck, man, that shit kind of teared me up because I'm like, my kid's the same age right now, and I'm like, this is so
crazy.
Fucked. You went to Tampa, though?
Yeah, I went to Tampa. It was wild. We had all kinds of people getting shot and crackheads. We had this one dude comes in. He got shot in the leg at a bar, and this dude was just, like, high as a kite, bro. Like, just cracked out of his gourd.
He shot up. What happened?
He got shot in the leg at a club at, like, fucking 2 o'clock in the morning. And he comes in, and he's, like, clearly just coked out of his mind. And he keeps trying to tell us that, like, he's like, no, I'm sober. I just had a couple Red Bulls at the club. I'm like, dude, Red Bull does not
Every
do that
Friday, I go to the club and drink 2 Red Bulls.
Drink 2 Red Bulls. And so this dude, he wanted to, like, he wanted us to let him leave so bad. So I'd go in there to check on him, and this dude would jump out of bed and start doing push-ups on the floor. He's like, look, bro, I'm good. I can do push-ups and stuff. I'm like, dude, you have a bullet hole in your leg. See, like, we're going to patch that up before you leave. But he's like, bro, I'm good. I'm straight. Push-ups, like, jumping around the room. And it was all the Red Bull, bro. You know, just the Red Bull.
Dude, that's where recruiters need to be, like the ER. Like, talk about a selection process. This fucking guy got shot in the leg, and he's doing push-ups.
Yep. He's good.
That's a fucking Marine if I've ever seen it, bro.
Yeah. It was fun. Honestly, that rotation was a lot of fun. You'd get bored and just try and find ways to entertain yourself, you know? So, like, at one point, I started a 10-gauge IV in the top of my homie's hand.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, 10-gauge in the top of his hand. That was pretty fun. We had a nurse about pass out when she saw that because he let go of the proximal occlusion, and it just started like a fire hose just, like, pouring out of his hand on him.
We got to squirt it.
Yeah. And then we had a female, like, 30-year med student. I don't know if it was the same when you were there. We could do more. We were, like, authorized to do more than dudes that were about to graduate as doctors.
Yeah, well, we were pretty, like, whatever, too, which is kind of fucking scary because I've got a GED. You know what I'm saying?
I have 6 months of Army training. You know, like, it's crazy.
Dude, I can't even spell osteoporosis.
Right.
And I'm cutting a fucking dude's leg off right now. Like, y'all know I shouldn't be here.
I had a plastic surgeon leave me in a room with a woman who cut the tip of her thumb off. And the plastic surgeon was like, Yeah, just approximate the nail bed, tack it in place, and just, sew it back on. And then she just walks out. And I got like the tip of a thumb in a basin, and some lady sitting there with her hand wrapped up, and I'm like, oh shit.
You're like, damn, I gotta lie to this bitch ASAP.
Yeah, and I did it. It probably took me 2 hours, and it would have taken like a good surgeon 15 fucking minutes. But like they just really kind of just let us go in there.
Dude, I got a funny story. I don't really want to say the location because I don't want anyone to get sought after for this. Yeah. But I was doing some training, and you do like ER, this section, whatever, baby area in the hospital, all that bullshit. And there was like OBGYN time.
Oh yeah.
Vagina doctor.
Yeah.
And it's like, like you go like, oh, where's this doctor's office at? And so you find it, you go upstairs, you knock on the door, hey, I'm Special Forces trainee, fucking, dickweed. And he's like, oh man, I love you guys. Like, da-da-da-da-da. Like, you can do whatever you want, man. Like, fucking, we're going to have a great time and this and that. And I'm like, man, I really just want to kind of hit the surface on this female stuff and get out of here. You know, I'm not trying to get all weird and shit.
Yeah.
Well, that day he was like, man, like, I'm super busy today, so just come back tomorrow and I've got these, like, surgeries and this, and you can scrub in and do some stuff. And so he had, like 2 hysterectomies or something that day, and some other stuff, and like, so I show up the next day. First thing I do is like an exam on a woman. So
yeah,
right,
yeah,
I forget what they call it. There's a
woman exam.
And so he wants to show me how to do that, and I was like, okay, I know I'm going to train this today, so I'm like mentally prepared to like go and speak with a patient, and like he's going to be like, hey, me and this guy, just to let you know, he's training, and while I do this exam, he's going to be a part of it. There was none of that, dude. Like, literally, we go into he's like, oh, go scrub in and meet me in OR 2. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I didn't know what we were doing, and I just go scrub in. I walk in there, and I'm like, what's up, doc? And this lady's spread eagle in the gurney, and it's just a person's vagina. And I was like, all right, cool. I never talked to this person beforehand, which apparently, like, then there was, like, different rules in the military, too, with, like, legality. Like, you can not get sued. I think you may be able to get sued now if you're a doctor in the Army. But, and I just go over there. I'm just standing next to him, and I'm like, oh, this chick's asleep, dude. Like,
she's out.
Yeah. Like under anesthesia or whatever, and he's like, all right, man, we're gonna do an exam, and he just grabs my hand and puts it in her vagina. And I'm like, this feels like the most non-consensual shit I've ever done in my life. For sure. And he was like, all right, man, like, you feel it at the end? I'm like, yeah, I feel it. He's like, yeah, make the circle, and do you feel this and that? And I'm like, uh-huh. I wasn't paying attention to anything. My hand was on. I was like, I just want to fucking leave.
Yeah.
And literally, like, I get done, like, 10 seconds later, I'm like, all right, doc, I gotta go. And I, like, left and, like, put the gloves away, and I just felt like I did something. But that was not illegal whatsoever, or nothing. Like, that was totally okay. And I'm like, and it makes you think, like, holy shit. Like, how much shit happens to you when you're under anesthesia that you don't fucking know about?
For sure.
Like, I had knee surgery, too, bro, and in the Army.
Yeah.
And the last thing I said before they put me down, I was like, don't let anybody touch me unless they have a medical degree.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, man. And I'm, boom.
Yeah, it's I've never been under anesthesia, but I'm like about to pretty soon. I'm waiting on a back surgery.
Maybe I can scrub in, dude.
Yeah, dude, I'm down. Just don't touch my vagina while I'm out, bro. So I'm gonna have my first surgery soon, and it's weird, but I'm like kind of excited about going under anesthesia. Like, it's a weird thing to say, but it's like, I mean, I tried everything else. I'm like, what's that gonna be like? But I got super lucky. I'm gonna go ahead and plug someone real quick. I'm waiting on back surgery, and I got hooked up with this awesome foundation. It's called Return to Duty. It was started by a couple former 18 Deltas. Yeah, we'll tag them and all that. Yeah, for sure. Nate Alway. So, and so they basically, a lot of former SF dudes need back surgeries. After years of carrying 100-pound backpacks, jumping out of planes, fucking walking miles and miles and miles, a lot of us wind up needing back surgery, herniations, all kinds of back issues. So they started this foundation where instead of going through the VA and getting, this is like my biggest fear, because it's my back. It's the rest of my life. You hear these horror stories of people get one bad back surgery and then the rest of their life is just trying to fix this shit.
My back is broken.
And, whatever, no shade to the VA. They've actually been great for me, but, like, I don't want a random person that, for all I know, is like a green to gold 11 Bravo that, like, barely passed med school. Now he's going to fuse my spine together. I was like, I wasn't.
Well, the VA is also, there's, like, they have a program, like for med school students or people like you can get shit paid for by the government if you do like your first thing there.
Yeah.
So a lot of people like use the VA as like a way to just pay for school.
For
get
sure.
the fuck out of here.
For sure. And so they have this foundation. It's called Return to Duty. It basically helps soft vets get back surgeries that are better than what they could get through the VA. And they coordinate it all, and it's actually the VA that pays for it. So like they coordinated all, they get your VA information, and instead of going to the VA, I'm going to wind up going out to California. And the surgery that I'm getting is, instead of having my spine fused, losing range of motion, months of recovery, all that, these dudes have this really cool endoscopic tool to where the entire hole in my back is going to be like the size of a pencil eraser. Go in there, clean it out, put an artificial disc in, fill it up, and then normal function for like 10 to 15 years.
No shit.
Yeah, so I mean,
and is this a nonprofit?
Yeah.
And it's like free for soft vets and stuff?
And it's through the VA,
yeah.
So they coordinated with these surgeons that agreed to do it. It's like a team of like, I want to say 10, but maybe less. And these dudes are the best of the best. They do like NFL athletes, Olympians, CAG dudes, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And the surgery that I'm getting, they gave that surgery to a dude a couple months ago, and 5 days afterwards, he ran a half marathon.
No shit.
Yeah, so...
What do they put in there, man?
I don't know.
So if I get this, I'll be able to run a half marathon. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, I don't know about that. How's your half marathon now?
Non-existent.
Yeah, no, I run 1 mile a year just to make sure I can actually still run.
Well, I had to start playing pickleball as cardio.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I went full white guy, dude.
I'm I haven't embraced the pickleball yet. I'm holding out. It's too popular.
It's
right
pretty
now.
fun. It's like tennis, but you don't have to be as athletic, I think.
Yeah.
And it's a smaller space, so like half the steps.
Okay,
you know?
I
think the rules are similar.
It's crazy. It's funny. Side note: my brother in high school played football with Nick Foles. My brother was the center, and Nick was the quarterback, and so they've kept in touch or whatever. But after Nick won the Super Bowl, got out of the NFL, apparently he's like the best pickleball player in the world. He's won like 2 world championships. Him and another NFL player play together in doubles, and they're just wrecking shop on the pro pickleball
I'm coming
circuit.
for you, Nick Foles. Damn. So, tell me about how you escaped Mormonism.
Yeah, it's a wild story. I grew up Mormon. My parents were both Mormon. And I don't know. I feel like in my life I've been blessed with the fact that like I just kind of done what I wanted my entire life, like since I was a little kid. And even with the church and stuff, like you go and you play the game or whatever. But like by the time you're like 8 or 9, you're like, a lot of this doesn't really add up very much.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of like played the game enough to go to church and do whatever I was supposed to, but then also I was doing what I wanted to in my free time. So by my senior year in high school, I was partying, playing football, going to parties, hooking up with girls, doing all that shit.
Like real sex?
Yeah, like actual sex.
Like you
yeah,
penetrated.
like P in the V. Yeah, for sure.
It wasn't soaking?
No, none of that. And so I wound up getting snitched on by a girl at church that was doing the exact same stuff that I was doing, that was like bitter that we didn't hang out.
Huh.
So when you get in trouble in the church, they have like a disciplinary review council, where it's basically like a panel of like old holy men.
It's like seeing the principal?
Yeah, except it's like seeing like 10 principals from your region. Like they call them the principals from every school. And they're like,
all the church principals.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
And so they basically like put you on trial. They're like, hey man, we heard you've been smoking weed and having sex with girls and partying and stuff. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, all right, if you repent and you say that you're sorry, you can come back and everything will be fine. And I was
and
just
you
like,
didn't.
no. It was funny, dude. The looks on their faces, I swear, like I felt like nobody has ever done this. Like it's intimidating. You're in a room full of old dudes like telling you you're a piece of shit and you're a little kid, and you're just kind of like, ugh. Not a little kid, I was 17, but. And so they tell me that, and I turn around and I told them no. I was like, I enjoy living my life. Like I'm
like
having
sex.
fun. I was like, I
like sex.
I don't feel evil.
Yeah.
Like I'm not just like, oh no, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah.
And so I told them I wasn't gonna stop. And so they deliberate like a jury, right? So they like send you out of the room and they have their little meeting or whatever. And they sent me out, and before the door was completely closed, they called me back in and they're like, yeah, we can't have that, bro. You're out. And I was like, all right, see you later.
So you skipped the soaking and went straight into it, bro. And they were not cool with that.
They were not
but
cool with that.
But soaking's cool. Like.
Cool? I don't think it's that cool.
I skipped soaking. I wasn't Mormon, so like maybe I should try that out.
All you need is a girl and someone to jump on the bed for you.
Does it have to be a girl?
I mean, for the sex part, I would hope so.
I've tried solo soaking and nothing happens. Like,
just hold it.
I just
nothing. That's the thing. You need someone to come over and shake you.
So
I'm not
you got me?
volunteering.
Well, we got a whole day before your flight leaves, so we can
Yeah,
we can work on that shit,
time.
man.
We got time.
So Mormons still they do polygamy, right? They still do that or no?
The official church thing is they don't, but there's like a bunch of random offshoots. So like people created the versions of Mormonism that like kept the parts that they want. So you hear about these weird cults like Warren Jeffs and stuff, and they're like, he's Mormon. He's not really, but he is kind of. So like the official church, when it became illegal, they quit.
He's just using the Mormon clout to like get his thing done.
Yeah, for sure. He wants 27 wives. I'm like, I have one wife, dude. I don't want two or three. I'm like, one is plenty.
I'm soaked up with wives, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm soaked up in wives, dude.
Soaked with wives, bro. No.
What about the underwear, dude? Did you wear the underwear?
No, I never made it that far.
Fuck, man.
Never made it that far. I didn't get to go do all the secret handshakes and.
You know, I didn't know that was like really a thing. I thought it was bullshit. And then I remember I was in like SOCM in the Q course, and this kid, super nice dude, you know, he's Mormon.
They
like,
usually are super nice. Like,
awesome dude,
yeah.
you know, like real quiet, real fit, you know, whatever. Just, you know, I thought it was like a bullshit, and I was like, yeah, hey man, what kind of underwear you got on? He's like, yeah, I've got it on. And I was like, man, is this dude fucking with me? And so I'm like, no, do you really? Like, is that really a thing? He's like, yeah, and actually, dude, I think there's like Army issue Mormon underwear.
Yeah.
Like, they have like a symbol on it or something.
Yeah,
Is that true? Like,
yeah, they got like some weird stitching on them. I don't know what any of it means, but
that's wild.
And there's all kinds of rumors and stuff that go with that too. And so I've heard people be like, I heard that they have a special underwear that you have to wear your entire life and you never take it off, and it like becomes a part of your skin. And I'm like, I don't know about that, but.
Dude, you know, that's probably an untapped merch market there. You think about it, like Mormon panties.
Yeah,
you know? Like Mormon thongs.
Yep.
Ooh.
You got to figure out what the symbols are, because they got to have the symbols on them. I don't know what that is.
That's wild. I'm sure we can get it on Amazon.
It looks super uncomfortable. It's like a whole T-shirt and like long shorts that go down almost to your knees and stuff. I'm like, I don't know about
like,
that.
imagine like running with that shit on.
Yeah, no.
You can't escape anything.
No. What does that dude stock the team room fridge with when he shows up to the team? Sprite?
I'm sure they bring beer or something. They just don't drink it.
I don't know. I don't know if they can even buy it.
It's like caffeine, right? There's no caffeine.
Yeah, but then they've figured out ways to skirt
it's like
that.
Muslims. You know, I got Muslim homies that are like, you know, pray 40 times a day or whatever, and then like 2 a.m. they're just going ham.
Oh,
like,
yeah, for sure.
Drinking, butt sex, all that.
For sure.
Like, man,
it's I mean, in all those countries, it's there. I mean, even Afghanistan, they have like underground alcohol bars and whatever, you know?
And butt stuff's like a big thing in their culture too. And it's funny, I got a homie, he was like a Terp, and he sends me like reels and stuff all the time. It always has to do with butt stuff. It's like, so it's like, you know how sometimes you can kind of like get a sense of what someone else's algorithm is by what they send you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this dude's sending me like 14 butthole reels today.
Yeah.
Like, what are you looking at, bro?
For real. And the algorithms are crazy, and it's every time I worry, I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I should say this. I scroll and there's like 10 times wilder shit, and I'm like, no, dude, this dude's getting popped away before I do. I'm like, you can't even send that to anybody.
Yeah, no, mine is just like hot midgets.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happens.
Yeah.
But
mine is, dude, the algorithm is crazy, bro. Like, I was scrolling on Facebook, and it's like, scroll. I'm on, it was Marketplace. I'm just like trolling for random cars that I don't need and shit.
Yeah,
you know? And so
like kids.
I'm going through the list, and it's Marketplace, and it's like, do you want to fuck this hot MILF in your area? I'm like, Facebook? I'm
no.
Like, what is going on here?
Dude.
I'm like, come on, she's not in my area.
She's 40 miles away. First of all, my gas tank's on E.
Is she going to pay for me to get there?
Like, email Facebook support. Y'all need to get your MILF radius fixed, please. Like, fucking.
Get a support call, fix the MILF radius.
Yeah. I've seen, it said there's 7 MILFs in my area, and that's bullshit.
There's 300 people in the town that I live in. That MILF is not here, I promise you.
I know all the MILFs. Dude, anywho, fucking, so how's the weed business going? Fucking.
The weed business is not good, actually.
Yeah.
I've shut down my grow at this point. I grow like personals for myself and stuff, but when Oklahoma went legal, it was the Wild West. They're like, they made the cheapest permits, the easiest application process, and so I think by like year 2, they had more dispensaries than Colorado, you know? And so if you had $1,500 and a shed to grow in, they'd give you a license. Well, it went crazy. And then you got like all these Chinese nationals coming in, buying up property, running these crazy trap farms, sending the weed everywhere. And so the government was like, oh shit, we messed this up. We got to pull it all back. And so they just started like, I built my grow to standard when the standard existed, and then a year later they're like, oh, by the way, you need like a handicap bathroom 30 inches on either sides of these tables and stuff, and there was no way around
like
it.
ADA.
I mean, it would have cost me like twice what it cost me to build my grow to go back and put it in, and I spent like all this money on lawyers and fighting it and whatever.
Dude, that's why people just do illegal shit.
Oh yeah,
because the government just fucks it up.
For sure.
Like, why are you gonna fuck my drug business up?
The worst part about it is you would think that I would be exactly who they wanted in the program.
Yeah.
I was running an indoor all by myself, fully compliant, never failed a test, never failed an inspection, had all my records and everything. And because I don't have the money of these like massive Chinese corporations, I get put out of business, and these dudes continue to operate. And so they're like, "Oh, we're fixing the problem," but they're pushing dudes like me out.
There's like huge Chinese corporations right now running weed farms.
Oh yeah, dude.
In Oklahoma.
Oh yeah.
Is it just there? Or they're more places?
They're everywhere. I mean, even when I was in Oregon. When I was in Oregon, where I was at, you know, there was cartel grows, Russian grows, Bulgarian grows, Chinese grows, and it was super interesting. Like the cartels, they would know they're gonna get a certain amount of grows busted every year. These dudes have endless amounts of money, endless amounts of workers, and so they'd set up 20 grows. They'd blow out 20 huge grows, knowing that like 2 or 3 of them are gonna get picked off, but they still have 17 grows that they're profiting off of, so they don't even care.
And those are illegal.
All illegal, yeah.
This is part of the business plan. At that
part
point.
Of, yeah.
It's like, yeah, we're gonna bust.
They go out to like
cost of business.
These tiny little towns in the middle of nowhere where there's no oversight. They buy these huge properties and blow out like a section in the middle of the property. You can't see it from the road. So,
I mean, that's wild. It's almost like legality starts to fuck shit up.
For sure.
Like
it does, because legality is what put me. I was following the rules, and legality is what put me out of business. They're not following any of the rules. But they're also
it's kind of like the gun thing. It's like, okay, take all the guns away today. Well, the dude that shot you yesterday doesn't give a fuck about the law anyway.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, you regulate. The only thing laws are good for is keeping people that follow the law in check. You're never going to legislate. You're never going to legislate a criminal out of business. He's already a criminal. Right, you know, like, he doesn't care.
Oh, tax me. I don't pay taxes anyways.
Yeah. It's the same thing with guns. It's like, oh, we're going to do a nationwide buyback, or we're going to... Those dudes aren't giving their guns up.
Yeah. Dude, that's what they want.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, everybody give your fucking guns up, and I'm going to rob more people.
Yeah.
Like,
and even those programs get turned into bullshit. You see dudes like go to Home Depot and buy a piece of pipe and like put a nail in the back of it and screw it to a wood board, and they're like, here's a rifle, and they give them $200.
It's a what that dude that on the news? This is a ghost gun, like fucking because it's not real.
Because it's not there.
Well, it's funny. Actually, I kind of have a pretty liberal mindset on some of those things. Like, I do think that the fucking, you know how you can go to a gun show and just buy shit with no background check, or like I can sell you a pistol right now.
Yeah.
And it's okay that I sell you that and you don't do a background check on me.
Oh yeah.
I kind of think should be checked a little bit.
I agree 100% because when I moved to Oklahoma, I heard about like the Oklahoma gun show loophole or whatever, so I went and checked it out.
What's that?
Basically that like you could walk in, you could be like a 9-time felon and walk in and pay cash and nobody even knows your name or whatever, you know. And so that like I don't agree with, but I went in and I bought like it's super fun. It's pointless. It's not good for anything but drive-bys. But I went in and bought seriously. I went in and bought
which we don't do, by the way.
I've heard. So I've heard.
Yeah.
But I bought a Keltec PLR 16. It's like a little 5.56, like this big with like a 50-round magazine or whatever. Then I just walked in and paid $500 cash for it. The dude didn't even know my name. But I'm like, cool, man.
You're like, so I just give you this money,
and then I could take this. This is mine. And he's like, yeah.
You're like walking out backwards and shit. You're like, this is legal.
I'm like, this is weird.
I think that's some shit that should be checked too. Because like I've got, all my friends I've got conservative, liberal. I'm like right in the middle, right? And like I talk about this shit with all the time. And my liberal friend's like, yeah, fucking take them all the way. And my conservative friend's like, I want to carry my fucking gun on my hip in 7-Eleven, And I'm like, there's a fucking middle ground.
Yeah.
Like, you should be able to, own whatever you want. as much as you want. I think that like citizens should have pretty equal firepower as their government. It's there for that fucking
That's what
reason.
it's there for, yeah.
Like, you know, if Trump's a dictator, I want to make sure. I'm not going to say.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, look at Australia. Just look at Australia.
Yeah. And, dude, being able to, like, kind of have a barrier from, like, person to person is probably a good thing because you can just, like, if my neighbor wanted to buy a gun, he could just come over to my house and buy it. And I don't know if that motherfucker's right now a serial killer.
What he's going to do with it. Yeah, for sure.
And I don't think it's too communist to think that.
No. And I have some conservative views and some liberal views or whatever, but when it comes to government intervention, I'm very much like, I don't care what you do at your house, and you shouldn't care what I do at my house until it like bleeds over into your yard.
Dude, the funny thing is, everybody's a small government person whenever they don't like what the government's doing. But if it's something they like, then they're okay with it.
For sure.
Like, yeah, fund all that.
And it's it's crazy too because you realize that people don't really have any original thoughts. You know,
right on it. Yeah.
They see one thing and it's like completely contrary to what they believed yesterday, but it resonates with them. So now they're like on this too. And I'm like, bro, I look at your political affiliations and what you think, and they're just
if someone tells you that you should think that, then they're gonna think that.
Yeah.
Like, you should have this opinion because I do. You're like, oh shit, okay, let me get in line.
Yeah.
Quick, you know.
And people don't care about research or the truth or their own information or whatever. They're perfectly happy to just regurgitate what somebody else said and pretend like it was their own.
Yeah. So you did some security shit, huh? For
a little security shit. I did some gross stuff.
Was it a company or?
Yeah, it was. So it was, and this is how a lot of those things operate too. It was like, on paper, a legal company, you know, like we were getting inspected and doing all this stuff, but like they just backdoor a bunch of shit in the middle of the night, you know? So it's like, it's really hard. And you can see from being in the business, it's really hard to like actually account for everything because there's so much variation per plant, per whatever. So, you know, if you skim an ounce off of every plant, you have 12,000 plants. Well, now you have a bunch of pounds that are off the books, you know? And so they're backdooring those. They had legal dispensaries, legal outlets, sell legal stuff, but I would say that the vast majority of major companies, like even you're looking at big companies with popular names, the majority of them are backdooring product to actually stay in business.
No shit. It's like they got to come with different costs.
Yeah. And I mean, because once the market got so saturated, the bottom fell out of pricing. And it's like stuff that when I was in high school was $5,000 a pound is now $1,000, you know, and the cost to grow it didn't change. There's just so much. Like when I was in Oregon, the second year I was in Oregon,
just keeps going up.
I know, right? When I was in Oregon, they would, the second year I was there, the state of Oregon grew 5 times the amount of weed that the state could consume. Where do you think that weed's going? You know, it's not just, they're not just letting it rot and throwing it away. It's going all over the country.
Damn, there's just weed everywhere, dude. I didn't know weed was legal in like New York City, and and I was in freaking. I'm like walking downtown with my old lady, and I'm like, man, I smells like weed around here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, this dude's just smoking a joint, and then there's like a weed shop right there, and I'm like, no way. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, once you like go to a place where it's legal, you're like, man, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Like, it smells funny, but
it smells fun, but it's not cigarettes though. I'd much rather sit around in a bar full of people smoking weed than a bar full of people smoking cigarettes.
You might get really hungry.
Yeah.
You
I hope they have good bar
If you're
food.
around cigarettes, you just feel like shit.
Yeah. You smell like shit. You go home, take a shower, and wake up, and you're like, I still smell like shit.
Yeah. Anyways, man. So, like, you did some security shit, though. I want to hear some shit about, like, I know the other day you're talking about, like, riding in a truck and doing some things, like.
No, we, so it's funny how that started. So I was a grower, you know, I moved out there. I'll back up a little bit. It was 2017. I was kind of like bouncing around doing like, I was DJing on 6th Street. I was like working bar security, just like beating people up for money on the weekends, you know, and it was super fun. I mean, we worked at like the highest grossing bar in Austin. So on a busy weekend, me and my friends, we all ran the door and we just extort motherfuckers. We'd be like walk through the line and find all the hot girls, and there'd be a couple dudes with them, and we'd be like, $200 a piece, y'all come and dude, we come home with like a couple G's in our pockets after a busy weekend just for making people pay to get into a free bar.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And so I did that for a while and it was fun, and I just kind of like, I hit this point where I realized I wasn't progressing and I was just kind of doing the same thing every day, you know, and it was fun, but if you've accomplished stuff in your life, you get into these ruts and you're like, what am I doing? You know, I'm not moving forward. And
well,
so
sometimes it's a good thing. You know, you hit a rut. Like I know sometimes, like I need rock bottom every now and then.
Yeah,
I gotta bounce up
for sure,
know?
sure.
Like,
and that's kind of what it was. It wasn't like my rock bottom, but it was a point where I realized I needed to do something different. And so I kind of just started thinking. I was like, what am I gonna do? And so I was like, what do I want to do? What's been a something important in my life that I feel like I could progress with, you know? And I was like, man, weed, murder,
soaking. Yeah, dude.
So I was like weed, you know, because it had done so outside of the recreational, it had done so much for me as far as like anxiety wise. Not that I'm like worried about stuff, but I'm sure you know, like after you're trained to be on 24/7, it doesn't stop. You get out, like. For example, one night my wife and I were watching TV. It was all the lights were off. The only light on was the TV. And I'm sitting there, and 15 feet away on the floor, I have brown hardwood floor, and I spot a brown scorpion. I'm like, there's a scorpion over there on the ground. My wife was like, how in the fuck did you even see that? And I was like, I don't know. And so weed for me kind of slows that down.
Yeah.
It doesn't, I still care about the stuff that I need to care about, but all the other stuff like just doesn't really matter. Exactly. Yeah, it just kind of like takes that edge off. And I still notice things and stuff, but it's not like I get into a restaurant and I'm like, oh, all right, what's that dude in the blue shirt doing? I'm like, no, man, I want some good food. You know,
like you just kind of obsess over shit that you shouldn't obsess about.
And
like,
you know it doesn't matter.
At the end of the day, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like maxed out on anxiety yesterday because I'm like doing the podcast thing and then the business thing and then this and that and like job stuff and family, and I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm redlining right now.
Yeah.
I need to fucking chill, you know?
Yep.
And being able to like identify that stuff and manage it.
Yep.
Like, weed's like
a
great thing.
And it's funny that you mentioned that about identifying it because for the longest time, like I didn't even realize it, you know, I just was running. I felt like my pulse was elevated all the time, just running high speed, trying to figure out stuff that there's nothing to figure out, you know, just constantly analyzing it. So we just kind of blunts that for me, you know, no pun intended, but it's kind of blunts that for me to where like, I still care about the stuff that I care about.
Yeah. It's just looking at it like, okay, dude, why am I fucking cranked up and pissed off right now?
Yeah, it's like a Wednesday and I'm doing nothing.
Yeah, I'm like mad that I have to do this and this and this because I'm obsessing over doing it right.
Yep.
And it doesn't even matter at the end of the day.
It doesn't matter.
Why the fuck am I acting like this?
Yeah. And then the sleep thing. The sleep was like major for me.
Dude.
The way that I found out that my neck and back were all fucked up is at the VA they prescribed me some medication to help me sleep, and this random side effect, like 1% side effect, it would tighten the muscles in your neck. And so it tightened the muscles in my neck.
That's not good.
And it clamped off the nerve on the right side of my body. And I lost like half of my upper pec. I lost half of my tricep. I went to the gym one morning. I laid down to do my warm-up set. And I couldn't do one warm-up bench dumbbell with my right arm. And I could do like 50 with my left. And so I was like, this isn't working. There's got to be a better option.
Well, one thing about the VA, they know exactly what they're doing.
Oh, yeah, dude.
You know
it was like some weird medication that isn't for sleep. And they're like, oh, off-label use. This'll work. And I'm like, it just fucked me up.
It's crazy. Like drugs, it's almost like they give you a drug to fix something, but everything that it fucks up is worse than what you're trying to fix.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, I just need to sleep, and now I can't use my arm.
Yeah, and now I can't masturbate.
Yeah.
Like,
well, luckily, I'm lefty on that. It's the only thing I'm lefty.
And you always got a friend you can call.
Yeah, for sure.
Brother or four. So
that's what soaking's for, bro. You don't even need an arm.
Bro soak. Damn. So you like shrooms?
Man, honestly, I like pretty much all psychedelics.
I would say that's a good, like... I know I've never done anything. I've never done any drugs. All these stories are made up. This is a movie. Anyway, but shrooms, I would say, like, it's a good Control-Alt-Delete. I know for sure. For sure. For a lot of people, you know, especially that have lived similar lives. You know. For sure. I mean, I had, you know, they talk about PTSD. I mean, I fucking, you know, you have childhood traumas, all that stuff. Like, you know, and sometimes you don't realize the problems you have until you get to a point and they expose themselves based on other traumas or situations in life. Mm-hmm. So, man, I'm a huge proponent of like a psychedelic repair. For sure. And it's funny, you know, I feel like probably a lot of people do, but when I started with psychedelics, it was just about having fun. You know, go trip out and go to a show or whatever, you know. But being in Oregon and kind of being in Oregon to try and figure out what I wanted to do with my life, kind of like
figure out what the next step was. Through psychedelics, like, I became the happiest that I've ever been in my life. Like, I got to the point to where, like, it helped my confidence, it helped my interpersonal relations, and I've kind of gotten to the point now to where I use it, what a lot of people will call is like a reset, you know? And so it'll be a month or so, and I haven't, you know, taken a trip, and you'll just kind of realize that, like, stuff kind of starts piling up on you, you know, like you start to get some brain fog. You don't feel as good as you felt before. And when I start feeling that, I'm like, okay, now it's time to trip. And you'll go. And the cool thing about psychedelics is our brains are really strong. We're really good at avoiding shit, you know, we're really good at like compartmentalizing stuff, putting it away and never touching it again. But like that stuff doesn't go away. It's there. You're just like stuffing it in the closet, and the door's
it's just a different
about
segment
to explode.
of
you
your
know?
memory.
And so for me, psychedelics, it will force you to deal with those things. Like, you cannot hide from it. It will take your deepest, darkest issue and just blast it to the front of your mind. But it also helps you work through that stuff. So probably the biggest one for me. So I lost my dad when I was in the Q course. I lost my dad when I was in the Delta course.
Me too. My dad died when I was in language school.
Really, man, that's crazy.
It was fucked up. I had knee surgery in the Q course, and they gave me they gave me enough pain pills to last like a year. I swear.
Yeah.
And they give me all these pills. I get knee surgery, and I'm trying to pass Q course, and my dad died too.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Anyways,
yeah, it's crazy, man. Went home for 30 days, came back right back into the Delta course.
And you're supposed to just pass shit.
And it's crazy too, man. Good on you for passing, because I read there's like some statistic or whatever where it's like not just con leave, but like a lot of dudes will, if they take an extended break from the Q course, will come back and they can't do it again.
Oh yeah.
It's like that one foot in front of the other, you break that step. A lot of dudes will come back and they can't do it.
So, I mean, I only took like the weekend off.
Yeah.
Like literally when my dad died. But I had knee surgery, but they hooked me up. They let me do language school while I was recovering from knee surgery. So, you know, the thing is, I had recycled a few things so many times. I like build rapport with the cadre. Not from being a good student, but just from like
being around so much.
They're like, all right, man, we'll fucking take care of you, piece of shit. Like, so they let me do like language. I healed up, and anyways, that happened, and you know, inshallah, I passed. But so I can tell you about that. I never got the opportunity to grieve, because I went home, and I'm the oldest of 4 kids, you know, so I'm like, got to go home, take care of the family, get everything coordinated, and get back. Well, 2018, like, I still hadn't dealt with that shit, you know, and my dad was my best friend. Like, it was the hardest thing that I've ever been through, and I hadn't dealt with it at all. And one day, it was New Year's Day, 2018, I'm on a beach in Northern California, it's freezing cold, and I take like a massive dose of LSD, like over 5 hits, and at one point, dude, I just like felt compelled to just run into the ocean. And it's like freezing cold, bro. It's Northern California. It's cold already, but it's New Year's Day. Cold plunge.
I run into the water, dude. I strip off all my clothes, and I'm just like screaming, crying, thrashing around. It's like years of emotion came out of me in that moment, you know, and I needed that. Yeah. And traditional therapy is great. There's places for it, but you're never going to pull something like no therapist could ever get that out of me. Because if they start talking about it, I'd be like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. I'll find another therapist. But like, you can't avoid that. You take 5 hits of LSD, you're going to deal with it, bro.
That's a different kind of therapist.
You're going to deal with it. Dude, and so after that, dude, I came out and I felt like the most relaxed and light that I had. Dude, I sat on the beach and the whole world turned gold, bro. I had my dog with me. I'm sitting on this blanket. Dude, the whole world just turns gold, dude.
Dog is the best trip, buddy.
For sure.
It's like, dude, I feel like you can kind of speak their language.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right, and side note, I got an awesome dog story saving my ass from when I was tripping. So when we were in Oregon, a lot of times when we weren't working or we had some time off, like we'd just go out into the woods. In Oregon, there's all this BLM land. If there's a road in Oregon, the good BLM. Can I say that? So Bureau of Land Management, and you go out there and it's like they have these really lax laws. You could camp out there forever for free. You're allowed to gather firewood to sustain yourself. No, and so basically if you see a dirt road that you could drive on, you could legally drive on it. So we're just like taking off into the backwoods of nowhere. And we walk around and we'd be like, all right, that looks like a cool peak. We're going to climb that. Take some fucking L at the bottom and just start climbing, bro. And so you go scrambling up rocks and stuff. Your pulse is elevated. You get up to the top. We'd time it to where like the sun's starting to come down. It all hits you at once, and you're sitting there. It's just like the most beautiful experience, dude. Like it really is. Like It is. And it's not just beautiful from what you can see. Like, it feels beautiful on the inside. It's like hard to explain, but like you feel so connected. You feel such a part of like where you're at. You're not standing back looking at it. You're a part of it. Like, it's part of the beauty is you also, you know? And so we get up there, well, we're watching the sunset, and then all of a sudden we realize now it's pitch black. We can't see anything. We're tripping nuts, bro. Like, we can't see anything.
Like, oh shit.
So the trail that we busted our own trail, and coming back down, it's like it's switchbacks. But if you miss the switchback, you're just walking into thousands and thousands of acres of
darkness.
Well, yeah, exactly. So I'm like, fuck, how are we gonna get out of here?
Yeah.
Well, all of a sudden my dog just picks up the trail, bro, and we see like his little white ass like walking in front of us. And we're like, follow that ass, you know. And so we walk, and dude, he earned every dollar I spent on him. He earned that day. He guided us all the way out of there, all the way back to the car. I think we slept in the truck that night. We were so exhausted by the time we got out of there, but it was like the dog saved my ass.
What kind of dog was that?
Old English Bulldog.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Dang, I had a Malinois. He was just good at like biting the neighbors' kids and shit.
Yeah, my Cane Corso now is pretty much just good at biting the neighbors.
Yeah.
But no, man, it's so being out there in Oregon and kind of like getting to explore and go into psychedelics from like a therapeutic aspect instead of just like a hey, let's go party was really cool, man.
You ever done Ibogaine?
No. So that's like the one that I haven't gotten to, and I'm actually working to try and figure out how to do that this year. It's cool. There's like a few different vet programs that kind of coordinate that. I know a few too.
I can hook you up.
Yeah, definitely.
I got a friend I met in Mexico. No, maybe I don't know. I was doing some security stuff with Roman Sanford, and one of the guys I worked with has a friend. I'll plug her in. That's one, and then down in Mexico, there's a few.
Yeah, I know there's a Mexico.
Specific.
Yeah. I want to do it.
I've never done it, but it's I don't know. Have I gotten to the point where I need that? I don't know. Maybe who knows?
Yeah.
But I've considered it, and I'll almost set up a few times. But what about like ayahuasca?
Yeah, I've done ayahuasca 4 times.
Oh, no, 4 times.
Yeah. And
you like throw up a lot? I've heard that.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Oh, no way.
Oh, yeah. So the first time I did ayahuasca, I didn't feel anything. Like anything. And I
like nothing happened at all.
No. And I drank so much ayahuasca. Like the shaman was like, all right, normally like 3 cups is the top. And I'm like, bro, I'm not feeling anything. He's like, all right, here's a 4th
we got
one.
Another drug addict.
Yeah, for real. And going into prep, you like stay with this crazy diet. It's called dieta. You cut a bunch of stuff out of your diet. No weed, no smoking, no drinking, no pork, no like all this stuff for like as long as you can leading up to it. And it helps you have a better experience. And I'd done all of that. So I was like, what the fuck, bro? Like nothing. So then I went back the next night because you usually sit like 2 nights in a row or you can sit 3 nights in a row or whatever. So I go back the next night and they have this stuff called hape. It's like a tobacco blend and they basically like blow it up in your nose. So I don't know if you've seen those things where they like it's like a little like bone or wood or something like that, and they load it up and someone like blows it into your fucking nose.
Yeah,
dude. So the second night, I had no experience with that, and a lot of times what they do is like you'll get an opportunity to have a cup, and then they'll do hape, and if you want to, you can like crawl yourself over there and they'll blow that shit in your nose. Yeah. Dude, so I decided to do that. I drink the first cup. I go over. I do the hape, bro. They blow the shit in my nose, and immediately I'm like on another planet, bro. Like instantaneously, and then I just start fucking throwing up, dude. Like
so, like basically that the other shit was like a synergistic effect.
Oh yeah,
and it
dude.
Just took that and then
it was crazy. And you throw up like black, dude. It's weird. What? Like you throw up black. And that night was awesome, dude. I had like the best like journey visions I've ever had. Like my dad had already passed, and that night I like got to walk along. It was like a river of rainbows, and I was walking along this river with my dad. You know, it'd been 10 years since he, or not 10 years, 5 years since he died.
I'm sure it felt real.
It was awesome, dude. It was awesome.
Man, that is cool.
And it was like I felt like I got to say goodbye. I got to like see my dad.
Where'd you go for that?
Oregon.
That was in Oregon?
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, there's a really cool, like, they call them, like, medicine communities. And so, like, the dude...
but is that where it's like a church or...
Kind of. It was like a... I guess you'd call it like a temple. Basically like a big-ass, like, Quonset hut or whatever. And everyone, like, sets all their shit up and you're all in a room. One crazy thing, so it's pitch black in there. Like, the whole thing is completely pitch black. And so we're sitting there and I'm like tripping, I'm like whatever, and then all of a sudden I just hear this crazy sound. It's like so loud, sound just like filling up the room, like you could feel it. And this chick had like busted out crystal singing bowls in the pitch black, bro. And I don't know if you've ever heard one of those, but like they get the intensity up, bro, and like the whole place is vibrating, like, and I'd never heard anything like that, and it was one of the craziest experiences. I had no idea
whose
what it was.
playlist is this?
Yeah,
what
is this? But no, man, it was cool, and I got to experience a lot through that. I worked with a native Blackfoot elder who was a former motorcycle gang leader who had like walked the spirit path now or whatever. But I would go over there and like learn how to tend fire for sweat lodges. Sometimes I'd go. His name was Gary. I'd go over to Gary's house and just like cut wood for a day, and it's like you wouldn't think like, oh, this will help me. But being alone, cutting wood for 10 hours with nothing but your thoughts, it's therapeutic, dude.
Being
like,
alone.
It is.
It's therapeutic. Like getting out there. Dude, being in jail's therapeutic. I mean, solitary confinement. It's funny because I did some time, and it's like, I wish there was a training course for like military or cops just to like go to jail for a month or two.
Yeah.
Because you learn a lot about yourself.
Oh, I'm sure.
You get everything taken from you and controlled, and you're just by yourself, nothing but your fucking thoughts for months at a time. Anywho.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah, dude, that was rough. But I went to jail at like 18.
Yeah.
Well, that's just a whole other fucking crazy story. Maybe next episode. But,
yeah.
Like, I did like just under a year. I was in the National Guard too. Shit. The funny thing is, which the guy, he's retired now, that looked out for me, but there was a sergeant major, and he basically like, wanted to get the Q course and stuff, and I was a support guy then, and he's like, wow, we think you're a good dude, so we'll look out for you. Yeah. And there's like code, like you can put, if you're like a first sergeant or whatever, if you're like in charge, you can like put incarcerated as a code on like the thing. Yeah. And that's good for like almost up to a year.
What?
Yeah. And it's like, it's okay if you're in jail, but as long as it's less than a year or something. And I got out in like 11 and a half months or something.
You're like, so I'm good.
Yeah. Anyway, so
they should give you like a identifier badge for that, bro.
Dude,
like
no
some
joke.
bars, like some bars with some hands or something.
Yeah.
You're like,
the funny thing is, like, I went to Sears school and I'm like, man, this ain't shit.
This ain't bad.
Like I can do this for another few months, brother.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hungry though. Like,
yeah, right.
Fuck, man.
No, that's crazy. That's one experience that I don't have that I'll probably be all right if I don't.
Yeah, I don't suggest doing it the way I did, for sure.
I'm gonna be like, Joshua told me I should just go get locked up for the experience, just go commit a crime. So
I mean, it's weird that like those like fucked up traumatic things happen, and it's like this just sounds weird, but you can miss the experience a little bit just because it like there's so many variables that it gave you, in life, and I'm like, it's also fun to just go somewhere and be able to just like fight people.
Yeah. No, for sure. The best part of my working bar security job was the fact that like, you could just fight people and nobody cared.
I think that's why cops like being cops too, because every now and then they just get to fuck somebody up.
And it was cool because you work with people and you become a community or whatever. Yeah. Like I tuned this dude up one night outside of the bar. I fucking put him to sleep in the street, and he rode home in an ambulance. The fucking cops came into the bar and we're all cleaning. They're like,
allegedly.
They're like, what happened out there? And my boss is like, oh, those cameras don't work. And then they come into the bar and they're like asking all the bartenders, they're like, we don't know anything about anything. So.
Don't you have a jacket or something from something like that?
Oh yeah. From my wedding after I got back from Afghanistan, it was at like a really nice yacht club.
Okay.
And I was inside getting a drink, and this dude just comes up and just starts talking shit out of nowhere, like one of these like rich prick members that he probably spends $100,000 to be there and thinks he can say whatever he wants to anybody. So he just picks me out and starts talking shit, and I'm just like, all right, whatever. And my wife at the time comes and gets me, and she's like, hey, just come outside. If he comes out, do whatever you got to do, but like, just go outside, let's have a fun party or whatever. Well, this dude follows us out to the pool deck. He gets in my face and he's telling me he's gonna kill me and shit, and I'm just laughing at him. Like, I'm not even trying to have my hands are at my side. I'm laughing. He's just getting madder and madder. And then out of nowhere, I just see like this flash from the corner of my eye. One of my teammates just levels him to the pool deck, and then everyone like turns towards it, and I got like my friend Bill like jumped a table. He doesn't even know what's going on. Jumps a table, comes over, and just starts stomping this dude out. And,
well, he shouldn't have, tried to stab you, right?
Yeah. It was definitely. But no, dude, he wound up getting beat like 100 feet across the pool deck. Like beat him out of his jacket and both of his shoes. And I still have the jacket.
That's where that jacket came
Yeah, that's
from.
where I still have it. I'll wear it next time I come out.
Yeah.
I'll wear the jacket.
I gotta get a jacket.
Yeah. You gotta go
I
find.
got some work to do.
It's getting cool. You can probably go out to the bar and find someone in a jacket.
What time's the bar open?
Yeah, right. I'm gonna go on a jacket quest.
That's fucking great.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm worn out, man. Well, it's good having you on.
Absolutely.
Time's about short, and I know you're at your flight in a few hours, so we can get some lunch or something. But
cool.
Thanks for coming on, dude. And I know you got some stuff going on soon. Like you're gonna start a pod, and you got some stuff going on.
Yeah, as soon as it started, I'm gonna have you come out.
Okay. Yeah. And didn't you talk about some beef jerky or?
Yeah, man. So I married into like a 5th generation cattle ranching family, which is awesome for many reasons. Like I could eat unlimited steak all day, every day. I could probably eat more steak than anybody. Yeah. And so we started doing like the direct to consumer. Because it's always been take cows to the sale, sell them wholesale. Started doing direct to consumer and like shipping meat all over the country, and the responses have been insane, dude. Like people just love it. I have people that like have been on Butcher Box for years and then get tired of it, and they try it and they're like, "Holy fuck, dude, it's so much better than Butcher Box." And we do grass fed, grass finished, grass fed, grain finished. A couple choices, and so I think we're gonna do beef sticks now because it's to order meat and have it be worth it, you got to order a bunch of meat because the shipping, it's got to be overnight, but like beef sticks, you throw them in a box and ship them all over the place. And then, people going on ruck marches, keep some beef sticks in. You can't just throw a T-bone in your car
to go protein
get a snack
like that.
or whatever. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I was like, it kind of seems like the logical next step. And so we're working on finding the right processor and working on the labels, but probably the next couple months will be out.
Yeah, we can help build that out.
Hell yeah.
We'll figure some shit out.
Hell yeah, for sure.
All that, so.
Yeah, man, dude, I appreciate you having me out. It's been super dope, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where this goes for you, dude. I think
fucking knows, man.
I think you're gonna get some of the better stories out of anybody because that's what you're after. This
is an interrogation, actually.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. Is that why you've been talking to your hand the whole time?
Yeah. All right, man.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
Hell yeah.